Hi, welcome to Oak Valley Kids. This is a family child care program in Bel Air, and we serve children from birth through 5 years old, so just entering kindergarten. We're in the Bel Air area, but we serve families all over Harford County, particularly Bel Air, Forest Hill, the Bell Camp area, Abingdon. So our group isn't a very diverse one. They're basically children who are from middle to upper class white families that are well educated, usually two parents working, and pretty high end jobs. So there's a lot of involvement from the families in the program. There's a lot of interest in their children and their children's education. The way we do here when it comes to reading is there's a lot of reading that goes on all day because most of these children are not fluent readers. They're very, very beginning 8 stages of reading. We have a lot of board books. We have a lot of even cloth books, picture books, grocery store books, anything that will interest them and have them come into reading and enjoy touching a book, going through the process of turning pages and reading, whether it's a picture walk or putting together the words as they're just beginning to learn. Our environment is covered in books. We read all the time. Here is just a sampling of the bookshelves that we have in the room, and you see they go all under the window and then all up the walls. We have print, and then there's more books over in our infant area. There's baskets of cloth books and plastic books and other ones that even the babies can get their hands in and turn pages and do little to no damage when they're mouthing the books and such. So we are reading all the time. When it comes to independent reading, because they're still not reading, they're more picture walking, we have lots and lots of favorites, lots of picture books we read all the time. Like I said, lap reading is something that happens on a minute-to-minute basis. It's all day. Someone shows up with a book, they want to read it, we stop and we read whatever it is. We have some favorites that we go through and read a lot. I've got a couple of them right here. One is Hi Harry, which is a story about a turtle and how he meets a friend who moves at the same pace he does. We have Peter and the Pigeons, which is an awesome book about a little boy and how he goes through all the animals in the zoo and finds that and establishes that the pigeons are his favorite book. The Polly's Puffin is about a little girl who loses her puffin, her favorite stuffed animal, and what she goes through to find it. And then the book that I actually did as my read aloud at the beginning of the semester, which is How to Catch an Elephant. And we will read these over and over. We read these constantly. And so the kids, when they want to read on their own, they're familiar with the story. They can page through. They're familiar with what text goes with which pictures. And they read to themselves, which is awesome. For the infants and the younger kids, we have another bunch of favorites. Byron Barton books are always awesome. This particular one is boats. We also have planes and cars and My Car and things like that. And then we also have the Laura Numeroff books, which is, this one's The Best Mouse Cookie. Again, these are board books. These ones the infants can page through. They're nice and sturdy. And they know the story that we're reading to them. They're familiar with it. For the itty bitty ones, we have even more books. I have a huge basket over in the infant area of these cloth soft books that they get into the actual practice of paging through a book correctly and looking at the story and being familiar with the sounds that each of the vehicles makes, and when they get to that point, making the right sound when they get to that page. But like I said, we have all of these, and we have books everywhere. I have a large chair over on the other side of the room. I'll turn the camera so you can see that way. Can you see there's a large chair over there where we also do lots of reading. There's a book basket next to it. So there's books everywhere, and there's books in our back room, so we can actually rotate holiday books for the grocery store types and the more simple stories, the Dora's Christmas and Elmo's Christmas, things like that, or Elmo's Easter. We can switch those out and put more seasonally appropriate books in. There's boxes and boxes of them in the back. So that's how we really foster independent reading, with familiar stories that they can read through themselves. And for the children who are starting to develop some literacy skills and reading skills, they can put together simple sentences by themselves, but we don't push that. We wait and let them show us that they're ready for reading. When it comes to families, supporting the families as they're in our environment, we get books all the time. We make sure that books are going home, whether the kids are borrowing our books that they're familiar with and they want to read them at home. How to Catch an Elephant and Peter and the Pigeons have gone home with numerous children over the years, and they've read them with their families and shared the books that they enjoy here at home. One of the things that we make sure we do is send books home. Every year for all sorts of holidays, again, grocery store books, but I buy constantly big stacks of them. And then when it's appropriate, we'll do things like this. I don't know if you can read all that. It's a poem about Mother's Day, and I'll read it aloud. And on the back of the book, it says, "You may have tangible wealth untold, caskets of jewels and coffers of gold. Richer than I you can never be, because I have a mother who read to me." And it says, "Happy Mother's Day." And we send things like this home for anything, Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever's appropriate for that family. But I really want to make sure that they're getting books. Most of my families have a lot of books. They have more than they need. But I want to make sure that this is something the child is bringing home, the child is interested in, and the child is sharing with the family and having the family read with them. Let me make sure I get back on track. I think that that's about all for this age range that I can do when it comes to really sharing literacy with my families and with my children, is just making sure that I instill a love of books and a love of reading with these children, so that when they move on to places like kindergarten and first grade, where they're really becoming strong, fluent readers, they want to read. And it's not that they're reading because that's the assignment or that's what's expected, but because this is a story that they think they may enjoy, and they go ahead and read it. That's all I can do at this age, is just make sure that I instill a love of learning and a love of reading and a love of getting into a story, turning the pages, and seeing what happens on the next one. So that's my literacy plan for this age grade range, is really just making sure they want to read and they're interested in reading, and they understand the process that they're going to have to go to get into reading. That's about it. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed this semester a lot. I learned a lot more than I thought I was going to for the children that I work with. And thank you so much.